What's poppin' YouTuber? Welcome to my channel, Astro Finesse. It's your boy Lil Finesse Jiggy Hippie, back with another video for y'all. And in this video right here, starting off a brand new series, talking about if your Saturn is in the sign of Aries. And if your Saturn is in the first house, you will also resonate with this. But this is for those who have Saturn in the sign of Aries. And I'll pause for the cause. If you're a new subscriber, if you don't know how to find your Saturn placement, if you're just starting off your journey of self-love, self-knowledge, self-understanding, if you don't understand why it's so important, or how to know yourself and love yourself and to study yourself through astrology and numerology, don't worry, I got you. But there are a couple of videos. I'll put the link in the description. You have to watch them first to become hip to the knowledge of what I'm about to talk about right now. So if you look at your birth chart or your natal chart, it's the same thing, and you realize your Saturn is in the sign of Aries, this video is for you. So without further ado, let's just get it poppin', shall we? Now you already know, before I start, I'm gonna give y'all a list of some celebrities so y'all can visually see what Saturn and Aries people look like and act like in reality. So to start, we got Albert Einstein, Jennifer Aniston, Julia Roberts, Mariah Carey, Kylie Jenner, Will Smith, Zendaya, Vin Diesel, your boy XXXTentacion, rest in peace, Morgan Freeman, Lisa Bonet, and Toni Braxton. Alright, so boom, Saturn and Aries. First of all, what does Saturn represent? What does it mean in your chart? Now, Saturn, the planet, we all know Saturn is like the father figure of astrology. You know, the moon sign represents by the mother figure, the nurturing energy, ruled by Cancer. Opposite side of Cancer is Capricorn, so the mother is Cancer. Opposite of Cancer is Capricorn, so the father is Capricorn. Saturn rules Capricorn, so understand that Saturn energy is like the father figure, disciplinarian, forces you to learn your lessons, organize, restricts you from things so it could give you the reward after you have put in the hard work. It's all about working hard. It's not a coincidence that Capricorn people, being ruled by Saturn, are, you know, hard workers naturally, kind of like go through life being restricted in a way so they could work hard for everything. So Saturn representing your birth chart, where it's in your chart is where you're going to be restricted. You're going to be forced to learn to overcome this obstacle, and when you do this, you will get rewarded for this, and you will master whatever it is that you have been restricted from. So in astrology, it's very important to not just look at the sign that the planet is in, to look at the house it's in, and also if it's in a house with other planets next to it, that will also have an effect on it. For example, you have Saturn and Aries in the third house, and you also have, let's say, Mercury in the third house. That's called conjunct Saturn. That means that you will have, when it comes to speech, you will have like blockages or restrictions when it comes to where you speak. It's in the third house, but Mercury also represents the way you speak. So understand that it's like putting the puzzle pieces together to understanding how it affects you as a person. So look at the sign it's in this case in Aries. Also look at the house it's in. If it's in the first house, since Aries rules the first house, you will also resonate with this. So Saturn being in Aries or Saturn being in the first house. So what does that mean? That means that you're going to be restricted. It's going to be difficult for you to be carrying out Aries traits, Aries characteristics. Now, the first thing when it comes to this is it's going to be hard for you, especially before your Saturn return, because Saturn takes 28 years to come back to where it started. So by the age of 30, you will definitely feel something called a Saturn return transit, a Saturn return. That's when, if you have been working on your disabilities or working on your Saturn placements difficulties, then you will get blessed, you will get rewarded. But if you have not been working on it, then you will also feel the effects of that too. So it's very important, especially if you're like me, if you're like my generation and you haven't hit your Saturn return yet, to look at your chart to see where Saturn is in your chart, to see what kind of difficulties may arise, what kind of restrictions may come up, so you could focus your attention on that to try and work on it, so that when your Saturn return comes around, you'll be able to have overcome it. And after you overcome the difficulties, after Saturn forces you to learn your lesson, after Saturn restricts you, forcefully makes you learn your lesson, after it does that, it will bless you And the blessing you get is you will be able to master that trait, master that energy. So having Saturn in Aries, Saturn in the first house, you have difficulties when it comes to like being assertive, or mostly just having a sense of self. Aries is all about the me. It's the first sign of the zodiac. The first house is yourself, is your body, the way you present yourself. So you will have like difficulties when it comes to the way you view yourself, to the point that it will be hard for you to be assertive, or to just put yourself in that leadership role. A lot of times with this placement, y'all could have been like bullied in your childhood or been raised a very strict way. So your sense of self or your confidence could not have always been up there because of the way you've been brought up, or just because the way you view yourself will be blocked and restricted. The way you view yourself will be harder for you to overcome the confidence before your Saturn return in your earlier years of life. So understand this about yourself, that look, all right, so boom. So I have a Saturn in Aries, or I have a Saturn in the first house. My assertiveness right now is difficult for me to be assertive. It's difficult for me to put myself out there in a way. It's difficult for me to put myself in a leadership position. Even though I want to be, even though I have the drive to be, even though I want to do this, Saturn will just slow it down. Saturn will restrict you. Aries is all impulsive. Aries wants to do things fast. Aries wants to be the first. Aries wants to just go ahead and be like, go to the point, wants to drive to the point. And Saturn is going to make that slow it down tremendously. So it's very difficult placement. It's exalted in Libra, the opposite of Aries. So opposite of Aries is Libra. It's exalted in Libra. Opposite of Libra is Aries. So it's at fall here. It's like a negative placement. Just means that y'all have to work a little harder with the difficulties, with the restrictions that Saturn will put upon y'all. So understand that your sense of self will be harder for y'all to be assertive in your earlier years. It'll be harder for y'all to really have a sense of confidence in putting yourself out there, to being the leader. Even though you have drive, even though you have ambition, this placement this placement is described as like trying to drive with your foot on the brake at the same time. It's like y'all want to do it. You really want. You have all these ideas. Like maybe you have like entrepreneurship ideas, because that's Aries energy. Aries wants to be Aries wants to be an entrepreneur, wants to do things himself. They don't like being controlled. They want to do things themselves. So you can have like a lot of ideas in your head, a lot of drive, a lot of passion, a lot of ambition to do something. And then you always feel in your life, or see in your life, that it's getting restricted, or it's just not working out for you because you just want to do it so quick. Aries wants to do things really quickly. So with this placement, understand that you're going to have to work on knowing that it takes patience to get where you want to get. This is very difficult because Aries wants to do it really fast, but Saturn's going to make it slow down tremendously. So you're going to have to work on patience. You're going to have to work on actually overcoming your fears of not being able to put yourself out there, overcoming your fears for not being able to be assertive and to assert yourself, and just to be that leader that you can be. It's inside your energy. You can be this. But once you're working on this, because Saturn's going to force you to, all right, so now I'm going to force you to learn your sense of self. I'm going to force you to learn how to be self-confident. I'm going to force you to learn how to love yourself and to put yourself out there and to do things patiently, and to learn how to be more methodical, to be more not so impulsive, but to actually be more, to slow down a little bit. I'm going to force you to do all this stuff in the beginning of your lifetime. And after Saturn return comes around, if you have been working on this, if you have been consciously trying to put yourself out there, if you have been consciously loving yourself, taking care of yourself, especially Saturn in the first house represents like your body. Aries is all about the body and all that. So it's going to force you to really have to pay close attention about how you take care of your body, how you present yourself, how you view yourself and love yourself when it comes to your body. So Saturn's going to force you to learn all these things. And then when the Saturn return comes around, if you have been working on it, you will find that even though in your younger years, your childhood, before the Saturn return, it was hard for you to be assertive, it was hard for you to put yourself out there, you will find that if you have been working on this, when a Saturn return comes around, the blessings for this is you will be tremendously good at being assertive. You'll be tremendously good at putting yourself out there. You'll be very good at being in business-minded. You'll be very good at being ambitious. You'll be very good at showing people who you are. You probably, like a lot of times with this placement, to say you age slower in your face, because Saturn is father time. It makes things very slow. So when it comes to your facial features being the first house, you will age slower. When you get older, you will you will love yourself a lot more than when you were younger, kind of thing. Because when you get older, it's like with this sign, as you get older, that's when the blessings come. After the age of 30, that's when you start to see like the rewards that you like, the reaps of the fruits of your labor, and the rewards that you get from the hard work you put in, from loving yourself before the Saturn return, from loving yourself, from actually consciously trying to work on being assertive a little more, being confident in yourself, putting yourself out there. Once you've done this and the Saturn return comes around, you will learn that even before you had a struggle being assertive, you had a struggle putting yourself out there. It's like a late bloomer with this energy, so you automatically see yourself being very assertive and actually being really good at being a leader, being very good at having your voice heard, being very good at loving yourself. Displacement with Saturn energy in general, you will really see it around the age 40. A lot of people don't like to hear it because it's like, damn, I gotta wait that long, or I got all this time so I could wait a little bit. It's all about really knowing that, all right, so if you actually feel restricted with this energy right now, understand that it's not gonna be like this if you don't work on it, or it's not gonna be like this forever. It's going to return back. Saturn's gonna return back. It's going to get better, and it's gonna actually become, you're gonna actually become a master at this. You're actually gonna become very wise in this energy and actually know how to use this energy to better yourself. So Saturn, all in all, understand that you're going to get restricted. It's going to be hard for you to carry out these Aries traits in the beginning of your life, first 30 years of your life. If you work on these things, if you consciously put your energy towards knowing how to do this for yourself, to love yourself and take care of your body and your physical appearance, first house energy. If you can learn how to do this, when Saturn return comes around, you will get blessed. You'll become a master at this. A lot of times success will come later in life for this kind of placement. When I say success, I mean like, having your business or just being that entrepreneur energy. Because like I said, Aries doesn't like to work for people that like to do things for themselves. So you would find that later on in life, you would definitely get everything that you've been thinking about. Like, I have all these ideas. I want to do something. I have all this drive, but in the beginning of my life, it's kind of hard to get there. But now, as I'm getting older, now as Saturn has returned and come back around, now I'm actually really good at being ambitious. Now I can actually get my goals, because now I've learned that I have to be patient. Now I've learned that I have to take care of myself. Now I've learned that I have to have confidence. So Saturn's going to force you to learn about yourself and to learn about being ambitious and to learn about asserting yourself. And once you learn that, once you put in the work, because it's all about hard work, Capricorns work their hardest to get to the top. They grind. It's all about grinding. So once you put in that work, you will get blessed with all the difficulties you had before the Saturn return, all the difficulties you had before. It will turn into, you have mastered these traits because you have put in the work and you have grinded. And now you can reap the rewards for having the Aries Saturn, having Saturn in the first house. You can reap the rewards of self-love, being ambitious, putting yourself out there, being like a leader, having that leadership quality. So that was my video on Saturn and Aries. I hope y'all enjoyed that. My next video is going to be on Saturn and Taurus, and you already know I'm about to go in. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, appreciate all y'all, for real. If you haven't subscribed yet though, go ahead and handle that one time for your boy. Drink your water, mind your business, and be safe out here. It's your boy, Lil Finesse Jiggy Hippie. I'm going to see all y'all when I see y'all.